Hey, what's up, all my Big Brother fans out there? It is Deluxe Dave, and I'm here to give you the breakdown of last week's Big Brother. I am telling you, it is heating up in the Big Brother house right now, and I am very, very excited about everything that's going on right now. I sat down and I watched all three in a row because I've had a busy week, and you know what? Paramount Plus had it right on there, and I was like, look, I'm watching Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays all in the same day. Sometimes I can't stand the suspense of waiting on what's coming up. You're just waiting for that eviction night. So I made sure I just watched all three of them, and it was very, very interesting. The tables have finally turned. I knew it was going to kind of go that way, but we're going to get into it right now. So episode 5 of Big Brother on Sunday really was interesting. Let's put it that way. So we had out here at the very beginning of the episode, there is these 2 rogue votes, which everybody in the house is trying to figure out, you know, who did these rogue votes. We already know that it's Tiffany and Derek F. They were the 2 rogue votes that did what they had to do. One of them, we found out that Tiffany actually was helping Frenchie out. So Frenchie's in the mix again. I think Derek is just trying to kind of stir the pot. Derek F is trying to kind of stir that pot up and stuff like that. And he's trying to make sure that, you know, it kind of, you know, is a little bit off kilter and make people kind of wonder who's doing what. So I can see his tactic in that. But we found out Tiffany was really getting that insight from Frenchie that she needs to go on ahead and, you know, put in a little vote to kind of throw things for a loop and get people's minds kind of wondering. Now, the mistake that was made was Frenchie went out here and went and said, oh, I know who might have thrown the vote, but I am not going to say who threw the vote. You know what cracked me up was Tiffany got right up in there in that room, and she caught Frenchie in the middle of blabbing his mouth like he's been doing all around the house. And she was like, oh, I'm interested to know. So why don't you just tell us? Tell us who the vote was. Tell us who did what. And I was like, okay, that was a smart move because it kind of throws that target off of her and makes it look like it wasn't her. So it's kind of like this role reversal thing that they had going on. And I was like, okay. So it ends up Tiffany goes up and she has to talk to Kylan. She has to make sure that Kylan knows that Frenchie is not to be trusted after that conversation that they had. And she had to go back and forth with him. So that's not good for Tiffany's game. So I can understand why she went to the head of household and she was like, look, Kylan, Frenchie is one to watch for. So also we find out that Kylan was told by Travis before he left the house that Frenchie is one to watch out for also. So we already know that basically Frenchie is not to be trusted. He got that by 2 people. So another part that cracked me up before we get into the wild card competition and all of that came up, another part that really made me laugh so hard was Asa and Tiffany's scene where basically Asa and Tiffany are discussing game tactics and everything like that. And we're thinking that it's like a whole crying, like she's breaking down. She's like, I can't take this. I want to see my kids and everything's going on. Sad music is playing and everything. These fools are up here discussing tactics. And every time somebody walks into the room, Tiffany goes back down. She's like, and then it is the most hilarious thing. I was laughing so hard. I was like, that is very smart. So nobody kind of gets that Asa and Tiffany are, you know, good friends. They just think that, you know, Asa is comforting Tiffany, trying to help her through this process. But it's really them discussing game tactics. So everybody that's entering the room from Derek X, you know, he came in and he was like, oh gosh, I'm going to exit out of here. And he just leaves the room because he thinks that it's like an emotional moment. So I really love that game tactic that they're playing, but we have to get to the wild card competition because this is what shakes up the game. This is what makes Big Brother, Big Brother, when they have stuff like this that goes on. So we end up having the wild card competition and, you know, the teams have to choose again. Again, the aces kind of left it up to fate, but the jokers and the kings still had to pick someone, and they ended up picking Frenchie for the jokers, which I don't think Kylan really wanted that. You know, he kind of wanted to not even let Frenchie have a chance to do anything. But, you know, they have to be fair. And I love how the jokers are sticking together with everything, but that comes to bite them in the butt. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And the Kings picked Sarah Beth. Now, after we get these picks, Frenchie is really like lit now. He's like, I have to win this. I got to get out here. I got to do this. And I can understand, you know, he really wants to stay in the game, but he's been so messy. Everybody wants him out of there. Like, he knows it. He feels it. He thinks that, you know, everybody is out to get him. So he ends up playing the game and he loses. Sarah Beth ends up winning the game. I was very happy about that. I really think that you know, it was Frenchie's time. It's Frenchie's time to go. So I was glad that he lost that. He doesn't even have an opportunity to do anything. So then Kylan has to make the strategic decision of who he's going to put on the block that day. And the thing that messed up Brittany, because basically what happened was he had all of the house come up and talk to him, and everybody has said Frankie is the problem, Frankie is the problem, Frankie is the problem. But I don't even think Asa went up to the room. At least they didn't show that Asa was in the room talking to Kylan. And maybe that's, you know, Asa's strategy, you know, to kind of stay out of the fold because she has another alliance to worry about, which is the cookout. So she has to worry about that alliance. So basically, Brittany comes out there and bites herself in the tail because she's like, well, these are the people that I see as problems. And she's giving out the power couples or the couples, like, you know, that are together. And she's trying to put that in his head. And Kylan sees that as dishonest. And so he makes the easy decision for me. I think it was a great decision, regardless of if, you know, they thought it or not from the Jokers, with him working with the cookout and stuff like that. Hey, you do have 2 team members on there, but Frenchie is the blame. Frenchie has messed the Joker's group up altogether. He is to blame for everything that has happened to your group. It's not Kylan. Kylan made a smart decision because if he wants to get Frenchie out, he needs to put up, which he put up Brittany and he put up Frenchie. He had to put Brittany, even though Brittany was pissed off. Brittany was extra mad about everything that was going on. She was like getting in her feelings, getting all emotional about things. But this is the game, darling. You got to play this game like this, even if it is the beginning and you're mad and you don't understand why. You were different than everybody else, and it made the decision very easy for Kylan to get up there and be like, okay, whatever, we're going to put you up there because I don't want you taking, you know, I really don't want you to take Frenchie off the block. Once we're up there, I want him to be stuck in stone that Frenchie can go home. So I think Kylan made a very good decision. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything from this episode. I am not. We are moving on to episode 6, which was Wednesday, and this is like a recap. And after they've had the wild card competition, this is all the things leading up to eviction. So they have like a whole week to like live with this person, which is Frenchie. Because he's on the block, you know, he's upset. Brittany's upset. So emotions are running wild. So Brittany is breaking down and having this whole crying fit. And the thing that I did love about Frenchie is that he did take responsibility for what he did to the Jokers. He was like, you know, if I'm up on that block, you know, and I get the power of veto, you know, I'm going to give it to Brittany because she does not deserve to be up here. Kylan isn't really buying it. Kylan's like, okay, that's what he told Kylan. Like, I'm going to give it to Brittany. If, you know, if words come to words, you about to be, you know, giving it to yourself. We really don't know how that would have happened, but he says it, and Frenchie has broken a lot of promises in this game, so nobody can really trust Frenchie at this point. So Brittany is having this hysterical fit when she's not even. I hate that when people know that you're not the target. I know things can change in Big Brother, but clearly Frenchie wants everybody wants Frenchie out. Clearly, you know that you are not going anywhere, Brittany, because people don't even see that as fair. You're on there as a pawn. And I don't think when you're in the house and emotions are running wild, I think people don't understand that you're a pawn at the time, but they just don't like the feeling of having to sit there and possibility of going out. I'll never know until I sit in a seat like that. So maybe, you know, that's how I would react too, but I'm not sure if I would do that or not. We'll see if I get on Big Brother one day. Anyway, so I believe this is my observation. I believe that Brittany is going to, like, you know, we already know who went out. So we're at the eviction night and Frenchie did go home, but I'm jumping ahead of the game, but I feel like Brittany is going to be Frenchie 2.0. The hysterics that she was going through, the madness that she's going through, I think she's going to drive herself insane if she doesn't win competitions, if she's not. Remember, this is the one that showed up on the first day with the jogging pants and she was ready to go. She was ready to get going. She was like, I'm not wearing no cute dress. I'm not putting on nothing. I'm coming out here and I'm about to play this game hard. Whatever we're doing, I'm coming ready. So Brittany, you know, I believe she's going to be like a Frenchie 2.0. We'll see. We'll see if she's going to dial it back a little bit after coming out of the house. But she's already talking about gunning for Kylan now because she's pissed. She's pissed now. She's going to let this whole her being on the block affect who she puts up there. And it's going to blind her to everything if she doesn't stay smart. So, Brittany, if you ever get control of this house, which I fear, there's always somebody I fear of getting control of the house because it's going to be a whole nother Frenchie fest to me if Brittany gets control. Because that power gets to her head and she just starts going. So we'll see how that goes. So then Frenchie goes on a freaking rampage and lets everybody know about the Slaughterhouse Alliance. He's going from room to room to room to person, even with people that are in the slaughterhouse. Like Derek F is just sitting up there like, I am like in the slaughterhouse. Like, if you out me about being in the slaughterhouse, you know, that's not cool. So he's just watching Frenchie go ham. We're talking about everybody that's in the slaughterhouse and I know it's a last effort result or ditch effort, but you're just like sealing the deal. Like, I guess after you know that you're going home, you're like, I'm blowing everybody's game up, which I don't like the fact that people do that. You know, I feel like, you know, a secret is a secret. If you join an alliance, or even if he created the freaking alliance. So Frenchie created the alliance that he is trying to tear down. I just don't get it. His gameplay was so freaking weird to me. But that's neither here nor there, because we moved on to the veto challenge, and I loved all the pics of it because it didn't give Frenchie a chance to get really out of there. So Derek X was chosen, Claire was chosen, Alyssa was chosen, along with the three that were already up there, which are Brittany, Kylan, and Frenchie, and Kylan being the HOH. So eventually Derek X wins. Now, I must say this really quickly. Derek X is winning a lot of competition. Y'all better keep y'all eyes on Derek X. Not that I don't want him to win. I just feel like he's playing a very good game and he's being underestimated because he's not a jock. He's not, well, he's like a mini jock. I don't know if I call him a jock, but he's a mini jock to me. And I feel like people are not paying attention to him, and he is the one that y'all better be watching. Kylan, watch out. You're close to him. And Xavier, watch out. You're very close to him. And I'm just saying, watch what you're doing. So basically, he won the veto. He didn't end up using the veto because he was going all along with what Kylan wanted. And I like the fact that he did that because Frenchie has to go. You know, I started out really loving Frenchie at the beginning. I thought he was the underdog. Just his gameplay was so freaking messy to me that I was waiting for the eviction night for him to go home. So we come to episode 7, which is our Thursday live eviction. And of course, a part that cracked me up at the very beginning was Brittany being a rapper. Brittany, I think she's going to carry this rapper thing out till, you know, her end days in the Big Brother house, which I am in agreement with Xavier that she needs to stick with her day job of teaching. But hey, whatever brings you joy in the Big Brother house, do it. Have fun. Do you, Brittany. So, I mean, that's her thing. So she's trying to rap, coming up with flows and stuff like that. So that cracked me up about that. So we have Frenchie, who is now, we're getting to like the recaps of things that are happening throughout the week before the eviction. So Frenchie, of course, is campaigning. He's doing everything he can do to stay because I think he had beat himself up quite a bit. And Derek F had to whip him back into shape. I love Derek F because he's like, he probably got a lot of that from his dad because he up here like, no, you could do this. We're here. He was like the motivator. He was the person that's telling him like, no, you're not going to sit here and just sit on a log. You're going to get out here and you're going to campaign. And so I love that about Derek F because, he is like the Papa Bear of the house to me. Like, I feel like everybody really loves him. The people that you love the most in that house and like that are your fan favorites, I believe he might be one in the long run that Derek F, if he doesn't blow up on nobody or do anything, he's a really lovable person. And I love his personality. And I love people like that. He reminds me, I don't know if he's going to go ham like some of the people from the earlier season, but he reminds me of some people from the earlier season that I fell in love with so much. And I love the underdogs to win because I feel like he is right now one of the underdogs to me. But yeah, anyway, so let's continue with what was going on. So basically, at this point, everybody in the house knows Frenchie is going home. So everybody's giving him this false hope about staying. Like, oh, man, it's not over. You can stay. We're here for you. Everybody's real fake. You know, and I think it's because there's so many people in the house right now. You're trying to whittle out and get down to the bottom of who's going to be who. It's like at that point where I'm not really as concerned about, there's too many people to be concerned about right now to be narrowing down like who's the best right now. We're trying to take out the weakest links or the people that are going to mess up the game. And I'll let you know when we get to that core point of I feel like we have the core amount of people that's going to make this Big Brother game good. So it ended up being Frenchie going home 11-1. And guess who that rogue vote was? Derek F. And I love that he stayed loyal to Frenchie. He stayed loyal to Frenchie. I think, you know, him and Frenchie are going to be cool after the game is over and everything like that. He stayed loyal to him, so that might have been his reasoning for doing that. But he still might have been trying to shake up the game, him being just that one. I know they're probably trying to figure out who was the one person who did that. And they made gun for him because they know that they were really tight. So he gave him that real extra long hug before he walked out the door. So we're going to have to see on, you know, what happened on this when we talk about it next week on the Sunday episode of if they kind of figured something out with Derek F and their relationship, or even if they had an alliance. I think it'd be smart if Derek F doesn't even mention any type of alliance he had with Frenchie, because that will make him look like, you know, I'm going to get vengeance for Frenchie. It's just going to make him an easier target. So leave that out of there. Stay in the background, Derek F. Another person that I love that's staying in the background right now that I thought she was going to come out and be this evil person is Hannah. Hannah's surprising me, but she better watch out for that showmance with Brent. Because Brent, you know, he'll try to pull some information or try to start up something with you, and then you get entangled. That entanglement, you get that little entanglement with Brent, and then, you know, you mess up your game. So watch out, Hannah, but I love how low-key you are staying right now. You're in the background, and you may be able to carry through and then turn on people later on. We'll see how that goes. So then we finally have our HOH competition for the new HOH, and it's the one where they got to pay attention to all the clues that are going on with, you know, what's on the video and everything that's happening. And Xavier ends up winning, and he's the new HOH, which I'm very excited about. But have you noticed we've only had, in our 3 HOHs, there have only been men HOAs so far, but each week a man is going home. So it is so, y'all better watch out, because the girls could be trying to take this over little by little. That's why they're like, okay, let's just dog these HOH competitions and make us look a little bit less like we don't know what we're doing. And then we'll kind of start our little girl alliance and call it a day. They are dwindling y'all down. Now, it needs to be more even. 2 men going home and possibly another one next week. We'll see what happens. As long as these girls keep the way that they're playing right now, they may be able to dwindle down on some of the big players. Like Xavier's getting HOH position. If Kylan doesn't win next week, or somebody else of the men like Christian or something like that, they could be knocking y'all out little by little. And Christian is standing. Y'all better watch out for Christian. I don't want him to win. Why am I against Christian? I don't know. He just reminds me of, I don't know, Tyler or Justin. I call him the fake Justin Timberlake, but I don't know. I just don't want, I don't know. Maybe I just want like somebody else to win. I don't know. We'll see. But I really love this game. I love how it's being played. So and the Kings is another group y'all need to watch out for, because the Kings are actually winning stuff. They are winning games. They are doing a lot of stuff. Even Sarah Beth pulled out that win, you know, during the wild card competition. So watch out for those Kings. Even though they may have been down in the beginning, that's Christian is in that group too. That's the group to really watch. So I want to break down really quick. I'm taking out my notes like I do at the end of every one. And I'm going to break down the gameplay thus far of every single Big Brother person that I have on my list. So Alyssa, she's playing well. I give her right now, you know, she's kind of in the background. I like how she is not really doing too much, but she is another one that's with the Kings. Watch out for her, because those 2 people will be the first ones to get rid of Derek. Xavier, or somebody else is in, Sarah Beth. So Xavier and Sarah Beth, even though Xavier's in this position and everything like that, y'all need to be watching that showmance right there, because it is a showmance, even though y'all want to deny it. Asa, I love her. She's standing in the background. She's doing well. Keep the track that you're on. Brent, I'm kind of here for him, kind of not. You know, I feel like he's trying to get into another showmance, possibly with Hannah. And, you know, Brent is playing his cards. The Aces just seem very dysfunctional to me as a group. So we'll see how it all plays out. They can't even decide on who they want to put up there. They're always leaving it up to fate, but we'll see. Brittany, that meme needs to calm down, because you're going to mess yourself up if you don't do what's right. You know, just calm down a little bit. Let it pass that, you know, Frenchie is gone, and then maybe come back later for the Frenchie vengeance. Don't just try to do it right now. Chris, we got Derek Frazier. I've already talked about him. He's doing well. Derek X, I told you to watch out for him. Frenchie is gone now, so we ain't got to worry about him. Christian, I've already talked about him in that little showmance. We got Hannah. I've kind of covered a lot of people in this episode. Kylan was already the HOH. I think he's going to like chill out for now, you know, kind of play it on the back burner right now so he can stay. We got Sarah, Sarah Beth, you know, I feel like she is one to kind of watch too. She may be innocent, she may be cool, but she's winning. She won a competition and she pays attention to things. She's at forensic. She hasn't even let them know she's a forensic scientist. So that's another one. Tiffany, I love how she's playing the game thus far. She is being very smart with how she handled the Frenchie situation. All she needs to really do is sit kind of in the cut. Please don't let anybody know, but let people know about your cookout, you know, what you came up with that whole alliance, because don't trust anyone. And even Kylan is kind of on the outskirts of that I feel like. I don't think he's totally engulfed in that, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Travis is gone. Whitney is here. Whitney, that's another one that's kind of been playing the background. I like that she's playing the way that she is. She kind of got into it a little bit with Frenchie and she got a little scared and backed away. A very smart move, Whitney. Stay low-key like you are. And then we got Claire. Claire's sitting out there and Xavier's the HOH, so he should be fine this week. But Claire is another one that is a watcher, I believe. The girls have a very, very strong group. So I would guess that a girl might win this season of Big Brother if they're playing the way that they are and they're getting these boys out of here like this and the boys aren't even catching on yet. I would say that the women are playing very well this season. So make sure you get more people to come over here, subscribe, because I got so much to say about Big Brother every week. My fave show. Make sure you're watching it every Sunday, Wednesday, and every Thursday. Big Brother is what's up. Even though the Olympics are on right now, Big Brother is my Olympics. Like, I get it every year. I love Big Brother. It is my show. So make sure you guys are tuning in. I will see you all here next week. Bye, Julie.